Have you ever given a simple answer and then immediately felt the need to explain it? Someone asks if you can come and you do not just say no. You explain why you are tired, what happened earlier, what you still need to do, and why you hope they do not take it personally. Someone asks why you made a decision, and suddenly you are giving them the full story behind it. You add context. You soften your words. You make sure they know you are not rude, lazy, selfish, difficult, or ungrateful. And sometimes nobody even asked you to defend yourself, but a short answer can feel dangerous. I cannot. I do not want to. That does not work for me. I need some time. Those sentences may be simple, but for some people they feel incomplete until they come with evidence. So you explain. You explain your choices before anyone questions them. You explain your feelings before anyone misunderstands them. You explain your limits before anyone gets disappointed. And after a while, you may not even notice you are doing it. You write a message, delete it, and make it longer. You say sorry before making a normal request. You give reasons for resting. You give reasons for leaving. You give reasons for changing your mind. Not because you enjoy over-explaining. Sometimes you are trying to make yourself feel safe, because somewhere along the way, your mind may have learned that being misunderstood has consequences. Maybe you grew up around criticism. Maybe people assumed the worst before they asked what happened. Maybe your feelings were treated like overreactions. Maybe saying no was seen as selfish. Maybe you had to prove that your reasons were valid before anyone took you seriously. When that happens often enough, a simple answer no longer feels simple. It feels like standing in front of a judge without knowing what you are being accused of. So you bring evidence. You bring the timeline, the details, the apology, the explanation before the question, the proof that you are still a good person. And maybe that is why you can feel exhausted after even small conversations. Because you are not only communicating, you are managing how you might be seen. You are trying to prevent someone from deciding that you are careless, distant, difficult, or wrong. You may say, I am sorry, I just have a lot going on right now, when the truth is simply that you do not have the energy. You may write a long paragraph to explain why you cannot answer immediately. You may keep talking after your point is already clear, because silence after your answer feels too risky. And sometimes the hardest thing is not saying what you mean. It is stopping after you say it, letting the sentence exist without adding another reason. Letting someone have their own reaction without rushing to fix it. Letting yourself be briefly misunderstood without treating it like an emergency. That can feel uncomfortable, because over-explaining often gives a small moment of relief. You send the longer message. You give the extra detail. You make your answer softer and safer. And for a moment it feels like you have protected yourself. But that relief does not always last, because the mind that asks, did I explain enough, can always ask for one more sentence, one more reason, one more apology, one more way to prove that you meant well. And the more you do it, the more a simple boundary can start to feel like something you need permission to have. But needing rest is not a crime. Changing your mind is not a betrayal. Wanting privacy is not cruelty. Saying no is not an attack. You can care about people and still not give them every detail. You can be kind without turning every answer into a defense. You can have a reason without needing to present it like evidence. This does not mean becoming cold or refusing to communicate. Sometimes context is useful. Sometimes an explanation is generous. Sometimes saying more helps someone understand you. But there is a difference between explaining because you choose to and explaining because you are afraid of what will happen if you do not. One comes from clarity, the other comes from fear, and you can begin to notice that difference. Before you add another sentence, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, am I sharing this because it helps the conversation or because I am trying to stop someone from judging me? Am I giving context or am I asking for permission to have a normal need? Am I communicating or am I defending my right to exist comfortably? You may not know the answer immediately, but noticing the urge is already important, because once you notice it, you have a choice. You can still explain more if you want to, but you can also let a simple sentence stay simple. I cannot make it tonight. I need some time. I am not available. I do not want to discuss that right now. You do not have to add a courtroom behind every boundary. You do not have to prove that your tiredness is real before you rest. You do not have to make your needs sound smaller just so they are easier for someone else to accept. And you do not have to explain yourself perfectly in order to deserve understanding. Some people may still misunderstand you. Some people may still want more than you are ready to give. That does not automatically mean you said something wrong. It may only mean that you are learning to let other people have their reactions without carrying all of them for them. Because you are allowed to be a person with limits. You are allowed to make decisions without presenting every reason behind them. You are allowed to say enough without proving that it is enough. And maybe that is where a different kind of confidence begins. Not when you finally find the perfect explanation, but when you realize that you do not need one for every part of your life. You can be clear, you can be kind, and sometimes you can simply stop talking. If this helped you see yourself a little differently, consider liking the video and subscribing to The Quiet Why. And if you know someone who always feels like they have to justify everything, maybe send this to them. They may need the reminder that a simple answer can still be enough.